Hi, my name is Elaine Kelsey, and I'm here to talk about the web application for active reading and automated assessment generation. This is an application that implements the active reading methodology. That's a pen and pencil method that's taught in schools to try and help students improve their reading comprehension. Involves taking notes and interacting with a document while you're reading through it. Um, and one of the problems of the method, it does definitely increase reading comprehension and understanding. But one of the problems is that students really usually don't implement it at home when they're studying. And that's because of the logistics of it and the time it takes and whatnot. So I think that by re-implementing that in an interactive web application, you can get a lot of the same benefits and it will be easier for people logistically to do. It'll be an easy way to do it. Um, in addition to the active reading portion of the application, I've also added two other parts to it. One is a Jeopardy style question generation portion, which takes the output from the active reading notes and lets you turn them into Jeopardy style questions that you can then test yourself on in a flashcard application. And the other part of the application is that it also automatically generates questions from the input document that you're studying. And so you can use those automatically generated multiple choice questions as flashcards as well. So I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm just grabbed a document from the web here. This is a high school level textbook about the cardiovascular system and the nervous system, and it has a lot of text. It's the sort of thing you have to read in high school. So before I start, I'm just going to very briefly show you the settings. So you can select how much text you want it to show you from each paragraph as you're reading it. So you can read it one line at a time or 3 lines at a time or a whole paragraph at a time. I'm going to read it 3 lines at a time. And there's also an option to set breaks and reminders to take breaks if you would like. I'm going to not do that right now. So I'm going to drop in there a Word. I downloaded that document to a Word file, so I could drop it into here. Now we need to select the class, pick a due date for our assignment, and we could change the name. It's automatically generated a name for the assignment, but we could also change that name if we wanted to. So that pause there was the first algorithm that's being implemented, and that's the core text detection algorithm. It reads the input document and tries to find the core content paragraphs while also taking out the things like titles, copyright marks, things like that that aren't actually part of the core text you would read if you were reading the document, and trying to focus on comprehension. It also divides the document into paragraphs and identifies sentence boundaries. So it's asking us to read the first paragraph. Okay, so we've read that. And now we're supposed to summarize from memory what we just read. Now it's asking us to highlight the main ideas from that same paragraph. This is the paragraph we just saw. Here's our note that we just created for this paragraph. So I'm just going to highlight the first sentence there. I think that's the main idea, or the most important one in that paragraph. And I could highlight more if I wanted to. Now we're reading the second paragraph here. And we're going to summarize it too. And so I'm going to show you how there's a algorithm that's running in the background here that's checking your highlighting, and if it thinks your highlighting is good enough, then it doesn't say anything. But if it thinks you're not doing a very good job, or you're just sort of randomly highlighting, it will give you feedback on that. So I'm going to try just highlighting one word. So it's saying that I missed something important. So let me try again here. Try and just highlight a different word. So it gave me two chances, and since obviously I wasn't going to be able to highlight, it did the highlighting for me. So it decided that the first sentence of that paragraph is the main idea, the most important. So I'm going to accept the highlighting that it recommends and move on. So let's do one more paragraph here. And here, I think that the main idea is sort of split across these two different sections. So I'm going to actually highlight two sections. There we go. And just to sort of show you what's been going on here. So here is the entire document. We can scroll down through the rest of the document. But the notes that we've been taking, it's been inserting them in the document so we can also view the whole document. And now normally we would keep going through the rest of the document, but I'm just going to skip over the rest of the paragraphs so that we can get to the next part. So now we've moved on. We're going to create Jeopardy-style flashcards from our highlighting of the main ideas. So for each main idea, we're going to try and create a flashcard. So that's going to be the answer. So we need to make a question for that. And these were both sort of they were both part of the same idea. So I'm going to put them as the answer to a single question. So now we finished creating our Jeopardy style questions, and now it's showing us some questions that it generated for us. So these are automatically generated questions from the original input text, and they're in multiple choice format, and with two different types of answers, either standard multiple choice, and there's also a fill in the blank where it also has multiple choice options. So I'll just see if that's here somewhere. Yeah, here we are. So they have these types of questions. So because it's an automated algorithm, well, a lot of the questions will be pretty good. Some of them, either there might be minor grammatical errors, or sometimes there will be distractors. Those are the wrong answers that it tries to create that are similar enough to the true answer to be plausible, but yet different enough to not be the same thing. And sometimes it doesn't quite get those correct, and so it's either pretty obvious what the right question is, or in fact their distractors are almost too close to the correct answer, and so they could plausibly also be correct answers. So you probably just want to read through the questions and then select the ones that you actually want to use for flashcards. So I'm going to read through and see if I can find some bad questions here. And these ones are all pretty okay. Let's see. This one isn't as good. This is the answer, and these, well, also sort of related to the cardiovascular system. It probably should have generated, things within the domain of other organs of the body rather than um, this is, a body part, things like that. So I think you could sort of guess the answer here, even if you didn't know it, just because the distractors aren't that good. So that's an example of a question you might want to take out. Let's see here. Okay, here's another one too. All the rest are pretty good, but this one. So, what are the three major types of blood vessels? The right answer is arteries, capillaries, and veins. Um, and well, grammatically correct. These all the other answers, have a similar format. They're lists of three things. They don't appear to be close enough in terms of the subject matter to really be plausible distractors for this. You could easily guess what the answer is there, even if you didn't know it. So that's definitely an example of a question you would take out. Let's go down and look at the fill in the blank questions. So here's the fill in the blank questions, and likewise, some of these might be better, or whoops, I seem to have yeah, so some of these might be better or worse. These are okay. Well, those are pretty good. Yeah, this one probably could have done a better job selecting which word. Like I would have selected that one rather than this one, for example. So that's kind of a silly question. I would take that one out. This one has some minor grammatical areas. Membrane and erythrocyte can't be used in this sentence in a grammatically correct fashion, so you could probably use that to guess that this is the correct answer. Yeah, sometimes you end up with these sort of random things. Okay, yeah. So some of them are better than others, so you would take out the ones that you didn't want, or maybe they're just already things you know you don't want them to end up in your flashcard deck. So we're going to go on here, and Before we go through the flashcard deck, we're just going to see that you can also print your notes. So here are the notes we took for that assignment. And then we're going to study for the test. So these were the Jeopardy style questions that we made. So we have to kind of try and remember what our answers were. That was the highlighted text. The answer was the highlighted text from each paragraph. So I guess that wasn't right. We got to get a little more exact. Yeah, that's pretty close. So we said medial to the lungs and the thoracic area, and this was the highlighted text, and it decided that that was close enough. And you can also select the parameters and set up the algorithm here that's evaluating the short answer question, so you can, decide, how strict you want it to be in terms of how close does it have to be in order to get it correct. And this. Yeah, so that was our answer. So you don't have to type the text exactly. You just have to sort of get the core concept out of the text and get close enough to that. I don't remember that one. Oh, it's going to make me come up with an answer. Oh, and I decided that was close enough. So, yeah, I said garbage instead of waste, but you got the general idea. So it's going to make me, because I missed some, it's going to make me repeat flashcards. So it's going to keep on going through the deck. And it uses flashcard algorithms that make you repeat flashcards based on how many times you've missed them before. And so it keeps going through the deck until you've gotten each flashcard right on the first try a sufficient number of times based on how that is set up. And so once we're done with that, it'll just take us back to the home page again, and we can run through another assignment and upload it. You also have the chance, you can also go in and upload your old assignments and practice with the flashcards you made from them, or you can erase the ones you have and create new notes and flashcards for old assignments too if you want to study them all over again. Two features I would like to add to this that I didn't have time to do are a keyword highlighter, so that you could also highlight words in the text that either were keywords or words that you didn't understand. It would look them up for you, give you the definition, and put those definitions on a flashcard. So you could add the word definitions to your flashcard deck. And then the other one is, right now it doesn't handle images from documents, so if there's a diagram or something like that, I would like to be able to display that next to the paragraph of core text that you are summarizing or highlighting. So that would be good. So those are additional features that would really help. Thank you for listening.